Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today I am wearing something to mimic a suit because I have an interview today, but I don't have a suit, nor is it feasible for me to be teaching in a suit. So I'm wearing this blazer from J. Crew Factory. I'm wearing this top from Old Navy that I've worn before, some black pants that are old from New York & Company, and these black flats from Aldo that you guys have seen on numerous occasions. I'm wearing my necklace that has my last name initial on it there. And then I'm wearing my silver Fossil watch. So that is it. I'm going to try and talk to you guys on my way to work. Hey there, 7:37. I am on my way to work. And I woke up, well actually yesterday, I just started to feel like I was getting sick again. Now I've had that cough, but a couple weeks ago I felt sick. Then it went to, I just had a cough, and now I feel like I'm a little sick again. So I just took some Robitussin because I do not want to be coughing incessantly at this interview. And now it's a cough and like some head congestion, and I had body aches yesterday, and this morning was very difficult to get out of the bed because I just wanted to be laying down. So I feel well enough to get through the day, but I hope it doesn't get any worse. Like right now I'm freezing cold. I know it's cold outside, but I feel like I'm colder than what I should be. So that is that. So as far as this weekend, I had the cleaning lady come Saturday. I went to my classroom, did some lesson planning. My sister and I then ran some errands, and then we went to a flamenco dinner show to celebrate my cousin's birthday, and it was a lot of fun. So I highly recommend doing something like that. So yesterday, I did the usual. I went to the grocery store. I didn't go to Target yesterday because I went on Saturday. That was one of the errands, and it was one of those massive Target trips where you have to buy everything. So yesterday I just went to the grocery store. I slept for a long time. I slept in, then I took like a 2-hour nap because I was just tired, and then I woke up and just made sure my resume was updated, and worked on thinking about some of the interview questions that I might be asked, and just looked up stuff that I felt like I needed to know for today's interview. And I watched the Oscars, which was very dramatic there at the end. I don't know if you watched it and saw that whole who won Best Picture, who didn't. It was just the most awkward thing I've ever seen. It was just uncomfortable to watch. I haven't seen Moonlight, but I do feel like I need to see it because it's obviously a good movie. So that's how I spent my weekend. Today is our minimum day, and my interview is at 2 o'clock, so I will probably be leaving right when the kids leave, or soon thereafter. They get out at 1:15, and I need to get up to the district office, and it is a lot of traffic during that time of day because we have multiple schools that are very concentrated and very close to each other, and everybody is on the streets at that period of time. So I'll probably be leaving then, and then on the way to my interview, I will try and talk about how I prepared myself for an interview, despite the fact that I haven't been on an interview in over 10 years, and what I did to my resume and how I arranged my resume. So that's pretty much it. As far as teaching today, we have the library. I have a math lesson to teach, and then hopefully we will start writing our rough draft to our guided practice portion of this PLC writing situation that we're in. So that's it for now. I am just about at work, and I don't really have much else to say, but I will definitely check in with you guys on my way to the interview. And if not, like if for some reason I feel too frazzled to do that on the way to the interview, then I will definitely check in with you guys after the interview and let you know how I felt it went. Either way, I will check in afterwards, just because I'm sure you guys are curious how the interview goes or how I felt it went. So I'm getting ready to sneeze, so I'm gonna go ahead and say bye now, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, it is 2:25, and I am leaving the district office from my first interview of the week. And all in all, I feel like it went fairly well. Both the principals were very nice and friendly and put you at ease. And that's the nice thing about this district is, for the most part, from my personal experience, all the administrators are really quite personable, which is nice. And one of them I had seen before in different committees, and the other one I had seen before, but I don't think I actually ever got to speak to her, but they were both very nice. The thing for me when I have interviews or anything like that is, I think I've said this before, but it always feels like an out-of-body experience. Like, I think what I'm saying is clear and makes sense, but then I'm thinking to myself, am I making any sense right now? I think I was, because they were nodding their heads like what I was saying was clear and coherent. But I always get self-conscious about it. Like, I've never really walked out of an interview and just was like, yes, I nailed it. I always feel like, oh my God, I hope everything I said makes sense, and I said it in a clear and precise and articulate way. The only question that kind of made me a little bit nervous was from the middle school principal. So I was interviewing with one elementary school principal, the one that's going to be the principal of the new school, and one middle school principal. The question was asking about how do I provide rigor for like a gate class at the middle school level. And I pretty much said for them it would be, the assignments would be a little bit more open. They'd have a little bit more flexibility with it. They maybe be able to participate in how this assignment, or how the assignment comes to fruition, or how they're going to prove their learning to you, just kind of giving them a little bit more choice as opposed to just a regular classroom assignment. And when I was answering that question, I felt like, a part of me felt like I was just kind of all over the place for a second. Now, maybe I was, but maybe I wasn't. But that was just how I felt. That's probably the answer that made me the most nervous, or made me feel the most flustered. But aside from that, I answered the questions. To prepare last night, I wrote down a list of potential questions that I thought they could ask, like just some ones that I know that are pretty common in these types of interviews, and I just bullet pointed what I would want to say. They weren't full sentences because I didn't want to go in there sounding like a robot reciting responses, but just things I know I would want to mention or touch upon at some point during the course of the interview. So I tried to keep those in mind. And what else? As far as my resume, I had a resume that I updated about a year or so ago. And in terms of updating your resume, if you're a teacher who's been teaching a long time, the only things that I did to update it were to make sure to include any additional training I've participated in, any additional conferences I've gone to, any district committees I've been on, and just kind of showcase that. And I kind of looked things up last night on just the proper way to format your resume, and just kind of followed the advice of, you want to put those things that you want them to see the most first. So there were a couple things that I really wanted them to be aware of. Like, for example, I wanted them to know for sure that I had been trained in guided reading for the past 2 years, because that's a big thing in our district, especially for the different Title I sites. I wanted them to know that I attended the Q conference, which is a technology-based conference that kind of teaches how to make technology useful and effective in your day-to-day lessons. So I just added those things in there. And given the nature of this interview, it being a transfer interview and me already being an employee of the district, I just emailed them an electronic copy of my resume and let them know that it was just for their reference if they wanted to take a look at it. And I also provided them the link to my YouTube channel for my class where I do the math videos, just so they can kind of get a sense of who I am, what I was, what I do, what I sound like. And it was also a way to show an example of how I choose to go above and beyond what may be required of me in the classroom. So they seemed okay with my interview. I mean, they weren't rolling their eyes or anything, so I think it went okay. Hopefully I'll know by spring break is what they're saying, which is coming up very soon, like within the next week or so. And I'm hoping that that does happen, because sometimes we don't find out about transfers till really the end of the school year, which means you're pretty much packing up your classroom and trying to set up a new class and try and get a grapple on the new curriculum, if that's going to be the case, at the end of the school year and during your summer. So I'm hoping that that does happen. Right now, I'm going to go lay down because I don't feel well at all. Now, I just think I have a head cold because my head is very congested. But yeah, it's over. Now I'm just at that point where I'm like, what did I say everything I wanted to say? Should I have said that? Should I have said it that way? Where I'm just kind of second guessing myself, but there's not anything I can do about it now. It's over. On to the next one, which will be Thursday at 3:45, and then after that it's just a waiting game. So I probably won't check it anymore for the day. Thank you everyone for wishing me luck. You guys have been so nice on YouTube, wishing me good luck and sending me your thoughts and your prayers and your good vibes. I really do appreciate it. Let's just hope that all that worked. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today I'm wearing a striped top from Old Navy. Today we're wearing stripes at school because we are celebrating Read Across America Week. So I think we're wearing stripes for the Cat in the Hat. I'm wearing some black pants from New York & Company that I've had for many years. These are red flats that I bought from Macy's a couple years ago. And then just a silver watch and a black ring that I've worn before. So that is it. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. All right, now it is 5:32 and I am leaving school. I actually left school at about 3 because I had an aspiring leaders training at the district office, but I had to come back because I hadn't turned in my Student of the Month certificates to the secretary, and I needed to make sure she had them first thing in the morning because I was one of the last 2 teachers to turn them in, which has been the case for the past couple of months, which I feel bad about, but I always forget to turn that in early just because I get so overwhelmed with all the other stuff. So I had to come back to make sure that those were completed and ready to be handed to her first thing in the morning. And I also had to pick up my students' response journals because I had them write their first response to what they were reading today, and my goal is to read them all tonight and then return them to them tomorrow. So I'm on my way home. The Aspiring Leaders meeting this time around was on just kind of creating good school climate and good school culture. So we looked at the 21 most effective characteristics of a leader to promote student success at your site, and it was quite interesting to just kind of see what those top 21 things were and kind of talk about them and why they're important. So I really did enjoy that, and that was pretty much it. That was what we really focused on. So I feel like this week there's going to be a lot of car vlogging because I didn't realize the kind of week I was going to have until Monday. So Monday, what happened on Monday? Monday I had my interview. Today I had an Aspiring Leaders meeting. Tomorrow I have a teacher leader meeting. Thursday I have LCAP all day and then another interview, and then Friday I'm volunteering at a PTO event. So I think a good portion of what I'm able to vlog might occur in the car because those things keep me occupied. But I'm just at this crossroads place in my professional life in terms of this whole interviewing process. Like, I'm really split on what to do about next year if I have the opportunity to decide if I want to go to middle school or the new school, because both of them have such advantages. And so I hate being in a position where one minute I'm like, oh, the decision is clear and it's cut and dry, and then the next second or the next breath I'm like, oh, well, maybe not because X, Y, and Z. So I know, excuse me, that I have to have this all figured out and clearly decided upon within the next coming days. But the good news is either way, whatever happens, I will be happy because I am excited about both options should they be available to me. So as far as today, I feel like we were very productive in the class today. We were hustling and bustling. We reviewed for chapter 9. I used a new strategy that is based on Kagan training, and Kagan training just deals with different strategies that you can use for cooperative learning. So I did a couple of the problems with the class, the ones that I felt like were the most difficult ones or challenging ones, or the ones that I wanted to make sure that they saw it done thoroughly and correctly. And then the other ones that I felt like were very straightforward, not a whole lot involved with solving them. We did this activity called Find Someone Who. And again, this is straight from Kagan. This is from a book that I have that I will try and link. And in this activity, students partner up. There's a partner A and a partner B. Partner A will talk to partner B and say, is there a problem on my paper that you feel comfortable solving? Partner B will then look at partner A's paper, choose the problem that they think that they could solve successfully, and they say, yes, I can solve this one. Then they verbally walk partner A through the steps of solving that problem, and partner A is writing down everything that partner B is telling them to do, as long as they agree that that's what should be done. I told partner A, if you think your teammate or your partner is telling you something that's incorrect, you're going to politely let them know. But if not, you're going to do what they say, come to the final answer, and then partner B is going to check that partner A physically wrote down everything that they were saying and did so correctly. And if they do, they're going to initial it. And then they switch roles. When each partner has solved a problem for the other, they both put their hands up and they go search for a new partner, and they will repeat the process with the remaining problems on their test. So we did that for about 20-25 minutes, and that included our students that are in RSP, and the RSP teacher was there, and she felt like they did really well with it also. When we were done, I asked my kids what they thought, and they loved it. They said, are we going to do this every time? They said, can we do this after recess? So I think they really enjoyed it. Then once you've done the problems that you've assigned, then I had the groups meet back up, because the rule was they couldn't partner up with someone from their table group. So when we finished with the whole search for a partner A, search for a partner B, they got back with their groups. They checked the answers on the problems that I assigned for this activity. And I said, everyone should have the exact same answers, you know, if it was done correctly. And then if there was any disagreement, I had the table captains of each group tell me what problem was their disagreement on. We discussed it if we needed to. And what was nice about that is I gave the table groups time to discuss and make sure that they all had the right answers. And if they didn't, in that little time that I set aside, they kind of figured out why that person had a different answer and what that person may have done wrong. So by the time I got to the table and said, okay, what was the problem that you guys disagreed upon? The person that had the answer wrong already knew why it was wrong and what needed to be fixed. So that was nice. It was a nice way to review that was a little less cut and dry. So we reviewed for chapter 9. We continued our writing. We finished planning it, and we have gotten probably almost halfway through the rough draft. We did our readers workshop where they had to write their first response letter. That was a bit of a struggle because the kids are just having a hard time adjusting to the fact that I'm not asking you for a summary. You don't have to have read the whole book to write this letter. You don't even necessarily have to have read a whole lot of the book to write this letter. You just are writing about what you are feeling as you're reading. So some of them, it took them a while to start. I don't know. It's really dark. I'm in the garage. I don't know the quality of these responses, but I'm going to be reading those tonight, hopefully all of them. So after that, we did a social studies lesson, and then the day was done. So it's 5:30. I just got home. My sister's supposed to be home, and I don't see her. I don't know where she's at, but I know I'm not supposed to be cooking tonight. That is not on me. So I'm going to go upstairs, shower, get comfortable, start reading these response journals, and then that's it. So sorry today's little clip is pretty short, but I'm glad I got to check in for at least a few minutes. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good evening, everybody. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today I'm wearing some patterned slacks from New York & Company. They have little tiny black checks on it. A sweater from New York & Company that I've had for a long time, and an underbody, like a body shaper underneath. And all of this I'm pretty sure I bought at the same time. Then I'm wearing my black wedges from Macy's, my silver Fossil watch, and this Tiffany's bracelet that is old, and then my initial necklace that has the R on it. So that is it for the outfit. I will talk to you guys later. It's 2:56 and I just wanted to check in because I haven't all day. I have to leave in about 4 minutes because I have a teacher leader meeting at 3 o'clock. I do not have anything to report today because today was one of those days where there were several things going on and that prevented me from getting any real teaching done. So we had our honor roll and awards assembly this morning for kids that made honor roll for the second trimester, and also any student who was getting a student of the month award. That happened. Then we came back and a police officer showed up to read a story to our class for Read Across America Week. And he read a Dr. Seuss book and then told them, you know, I'm gonna read you this story, and when I finish, you can ask me any question you want about my job. And I just knew that was gonna take a long time because it was a police officer, so the kids were gonna have tons of questions. And then by the time that was done, it was time for recess. Then we came back, I gave them the test, and as always, it's not timed, so it's really a matter of waiting for the bulk of your class to be done. And I just have a slower moving class with tests. Then we went to lunch and we came back from lunch. We had about 20 minutes between lunch and PE, so the last few kids that needed to finish their test did that. The rest of the kids read silently. Then they went to PE. Then they came back, packed up, and then we listened to one chapter of Walk Two Moons, and here I am now. So I thought I would get a little bit more done, but I didn't, but it's fine. It's fine. So I'm gonna go to my teacher leader meeting. I'm still a little anxious about this whole transfer situation because I have my next interview tomorrow. And one of the things I did want to say is I know I briefly spoke about updating my resume because I really hadn't touched it in like almost 10 years. I updated it last year when I sent it to the school that I got my credential from, so there wasn't a ton that I had to do to it, but I did reorder some things. So just to rehash that, I think if you're teaching and you've been teaching for a long time but you're applying for a transfer or a new school, you definitely want to update in the sense of adding any type of training, conferences, specialized training that you think you have, specialized skills, and put that on there. And I know back in the day they used to tell you to put it in reverse chronological order. 1 second, sorry about that. That was 2 former students coming to say hi. So I think what I was saying was, back in the day they used to tell you to put it in, I think it's called reverse chronological order, the most recent first. But this one, I just put things that I wanted to showcase up at the top. So there's my little tip about that. But I also know that over the years, I just had this blank document on my computer, and anytime I did a training or a conference or something that I felt like would be an asset on a resume, I just would type it on this blank document in list form so that I wouldn't forget, because you would be surprised, especially with teaching and all the different types of training that you're doing, you forget all the different things you go to, the different conferences, the different meetings and committees you serve on. So if you don't already do that, I would suggest tracking that somewhere that you can easily access when the time comes for you to update your resume. So I was gonna talk for a little bit longer, but I had to talk to them for a while. It is now 3 o'clock, so I gotta walk out the door and go to this teacher leader meeting. If something interesting happens there, I will vlog it. If nothing interesting happens there, I won't bore you with the details of a meeting. So I will talk to you guys soon. I am back in my classroom now. It is a little after 4:30, and we just had the fastest teacher leader meeting that I have ever had since I've been in that position, so that was great. It was probably less than an hour, and I just happened to be getting back to my room a little bit later because we were chatting for a little while. So I am packing up to go home for the day. I need to go home and finish reading my response journals. I didn't get as far as I wanted to last night because when I got home, my brother was home, or my brother was at my house visiting, so we chatted, and then I talked to a couple friends on the phone, just trying to get some advice on my transferring situation since I am so excited about both opportunities, and I just want to make sure that I'm making the right choice. So that took a little bit of time, and so by the time I sat down and got started, it was late. So I got through maybe 10, somewhere between 10 to 15 of them. Here's my cart that I am hauling them in, plus my grocery bag. So the ones that are sitting sideways, these here I've done, which means I still need to do those. And it's not as time consuming as I thought. Reading the letters is relatively quick. What I have noticed so far is that most of them, I'm having to tell them or remind them that they were supposed to write about their thinking, what they're feeling, what is their response, because a lot of them are just really giving me a summary. And the sample that I put up for them has a very brief sentence or two about what I'm reading, because they need to know a little bit about what I'm reading to understand the content of my letter. And I think some of them took that to mean that I want a summary, even though I very emphatically said a couple of times, this is not a summary. This is literally what are you thinking about as you read. So I think it's just a matter of training. So for those kids who really just gave me a summary of what they read, I thank them for completing their first response. But then I also said, for your next entry, I really need you to work on telling me what you're thinking as you read and not really give me a summary. So that's what I'm gonna go home to do. I need to get those done before I work on correcting the math test from today. And that's pretty much it. I also need to pay some bills because it's the first of the month, which means I got paid, which means I have bills that now need to be paid. So I will more than likely be saying goodbye from here. I will be at LCAP tomorrow, so I will talk to you guys probably on the way to that. And tomorrow is going to be my last interview, and hopefully this time next week I know where I end up and you guys know where I end up. This is probably the first time in a long time where I really don't know what I want to do, and that's kind of stress inducing. So that's just kind of where my mind is at. So I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye right now. Good morning, here's my outfit of the day. Today I'm wearing a pair of Harper pants from Old Navy that are printed black and white. This black top underneath is from Old Navy, and I'm wearing an old blazer that I bought from H&M years and years ago. I'm wearing my red necklace from, I believe this is from Francesca's, and then my black wedges that I wore yesterday, and my black Marc Jacobs watch, and that is it. So I am going to LCAP and then spending some time at the middle school and getting interviewed, so wish me luck. Okay, it's 5:30. My sister's in the car. You can see her shoulder. Shake your shoulder so they know you're there. It is. She's not feeling being on camera yet. She didn't put her face on, but she still looks cute. She got some hair, some new hair today. Got the weave done, baby. Hair. Got it, there it is. So you can hear her, she's here, but she doesn't want to be seen. So we are on our way to happy hour with Liza. Mimi didn't work today. She spent her whole day getting her hair done. Mm-hmm. The lighting is bad right now, I can see that, but I can't change that. But I'm on my way to happy hour with my sister and Liza just to celebrate the end of the transfer stress. We are done with interviews. We have put in our request, and now we're just at a point where we're waiting to find out if our transfer is approved and if we get to go to the site that we put down as our first choice. We think our chances are good, so we're happy about that. But more than anything, we're just relieved that the process is over, because it is kind of stressful to interview after not having been interviewed for quite a while, and thinking about leaving your current school site when you've been treated really well there and you've had good experiences there. So this is just a celebration of, there's nothing else for us to do besides wait and see what's going to happen and where we're going to end up. So this morning I had LCAP from 8:30 to 10:30, and this is one of the last meetings before we have one more meeting after this, and then we're done for the year. And we just basically looked at the new LCAP for the 2017-2018 school year, compared it to the current LCAP, and made sure the things that are on the current LCAP still exist in the new LCAP if they were deemed to be things that should still exist, if all of that made sense. And then after that, I went to the middle school. I got to go into some classes and spend some time there. I spent about an hour and 15-20 minutes doing that, just to kind of get some more sense of what that's like. I had a good time. All the teachers were really nice. And what I did learn, my big takeaway from sitting in the 8th grade class, is that the 8th graders are really just giant 5th graders. The same things I'm saying to my 5th graders were much of the same things they were saying to their 5th graders. I mean, to their 8th graders. They were just much larger. So I spent some time there. I went to some 6th grade classes, and then after that I had my interview with 2 of the principals at the middle school, and they were really nice and made it all very comfortable. And then I left and went back to my school site and did some work, some school work, because I had sub coverage in my class all day, and came home and waited for my sister so we can go to happy hour. So that's really it. Today's clip is really short because there wasn't really much that I could record because I was either in a meeting or in another class or being interviewed. So here I am now. Actually, I don't want to turn here. So I just wanted to make sure I checked in at some point today. I might check in a little bit later. If I'm feeling really brave, maybe I'll record while we're at happy hour.
Oh, I gotta be on camera.
Mimi might be on camera, but if not, she's right there, shaking that shoulder. Here's some of her hair. It's curly. So, either way, I will talk to you guys later. Good morning. It's Friday, and it is 80s day at work for the teachers and pajama day at school for the kids. So this is as close as I can get to the 80s. I am just wearing a neon top from Target. I am wearing some fake little sunglasses that I bought at Party City last year that have these little flip tops on them. I'm wearing an obnoxious 80s bow, and then I am wearing these little bangles, and my 80s, there they are. I don't know if I'm doing a good job showing them to you. My 80s dangle earrings right there, and then just some jeans and some sandals that have neon or hot pink in it. So this is my outfit for 80s day. I will talk to you guys later. Hello, it is 4:47, and I am actually leaving school right now, only to return to school in a matter of minutes, because this week is Dr. Seuss week, as I'm sure you all know. And for us, it's Retro Family Game Night. And we are required as teachers to volunteer at, I think, 2 events throughout the school year. So my first event that I did was the Harvest Festival in October. And this is my second event, so I'm supposed to help. This is an event that's put on by our PTO. And I think I'm supposed to help from 5. I thought it was 5:30 to 7, but now suddenly I'm worried that it's actually 5 to 7, which means I need to be back within the next 10 to 15 minutes or so, but I'm going to probably be a little late if that's the case, because right now I am on my way to pick up an iced coffee because I'm a little tired, and if I have to be here to 7, I need a little pick-me-up. And then I'm going to go home and let Genesis out, because right now she is confined to her little area, which is the laundry room, while I'm at work. And so I want to let her out to use the bathroom, get a very brief moment of fresh air, feed her, and then let her just roam about the house until I get back at around 7. So that is my plan. Today was just one of those days where I felt and still feel completely unproductive. My morning was a little haphazard because it's like I forgot that I had a sub yesterday, so I didn't come in early like I normally do to kind of go through the sub note, see if there was anything I needed to take care of, clean up the room if necessary. So I got to school right on time, which was not enough time really. And then I was intending to do a couple things before 9:30, so I wanted to go over the little presentation we have to give our kids before we go on a field trip on Tuesday, and I wanted to go over their first response journal entries, but then that just didn't happen. Like, I was doing like the regular morning stuff, and then I got distracted, and then band left, and then it just kind of fell apart from there. So everything was behind schedule than what I intended. And then even during prep, I I mean, I got some things done, but I didn't feel like I used that time as effectively as I could, because I think I'm just at a point where I'm just worn out. Like I just have, and I feel like a broken record saying that, but I just was so distracted today for some reason mentally. So, and I'm so distracted that I just realized I'm going in the wrong direction to where I need to go. So that just lets you know. But anyway, I just feel like I didn't use my time quite as effectively as I would have liked to all day. And I have to now go home and then come back. I need to cook, and I don't know if I'll be able to do that, because by the time I get home it's gonna be after 7, and do I really want to be cooking after 7? I need to pay my bills, I need to edit video, so I don't know. Right now I'm ranting and rambling, but I said all that to say today I could have been better. I could have been more efficient with my time and more productive at certain points of the day, but there is nothing I can do about it now. So I'm gonna go home. Now I'm gonna get my iced coffee because I need to stay awake. I'm gonna go let my dog out. I'm gonna come back to school, help at this PTO event, and then after that, I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen. I still don't know. I have not gotten any sort of confirmation as to whether or not my transfer was approved, and if so, where. So I am hoping that we do find out next week. I'm hoping earlier in the week as opposed to later. But I have a feeling I'll be transferring somewhere. I know that for a fact. Like, I know that I will be transferring. So now I'm at the point where I'm thinking of, what am I going to do with my new room? Like, that's the nerve-wracking part. Like, it's nerve-wracking to think that I'm going to have to pack my whole room up, because I've been in there for several years, and I'm going to have to take the whole room down, and then I'm going to have to get all my stuff from one location to another, and I'm going to have to recreate another room. So the process of recreating another room is fun, but it is a little nerve-wracking. So right now my thoughts are that I would like my color scheme to be gray. I love a good gray, gray and yellow. But my dilemma is, do I really want to change it, because all my accents right now are red? And that would mean, knowing the person that I am, I would want to replace bins and things to match with my new color scheme. So that's what I'm thinking right now. And that's about as far as I can think about transferring. I don't know where I'm going to go, where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be teaching. But I do know that I'm going to be moving somewhere, more than likely. So, anywho, I have no idea what this week's vlog is going to be like, because it feels very pieced together, because I just don't feel like I recorded quite a bit. So I'm going to stop here to avoid from rambling on and on. I will try to get some footage of our little family game night, but it may be a challenge, because you don't want to be videotaping people that are not interested in being on camera. But if I don't, I will definitely check in later to close the vlog out for the week. I want to thank everyone now, before I forget, for all of you that sent me well wishes and checked in with me throughout the week when you knew I had interviews, to ask me how it went, or tell me that you were rooting for me or praying for me. I really do believe that it helped. Overall, I feel like my interviews went well. I think the feeling that I had coming out of like, oh my God, you were just in there rambling and you made no sense. I think that's just what everybody feels after an interview, because you're kind of under pressure and put on the spot. So thank you so much for that. And that's it for now. I'm going to get my coffee and get back to work. So not every day is going to be productive. Not every day will I be able to feel like I really got everything that I wanted to get done. And that is just the fact of life. And today happened to be one of those days. So I will talk to you guys later today. And I hope everything's going good. I hope you guys see my 80s bow? The kids at school really like this. I think they like it. Like, they think I should be dressed like this every day, especially the earrings. Like, little girls really love these earrings, which I understand, because if I were little, these earrings would just be everything. They're stars, they're pink, they're great. So anyway, I'm talking too much. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Everybody see that? That's Genesis and her little doggy teepee. Genesis is done for the day, just like her mom. Say hi, Jenny. she didn't work, but she's done for the day. So I just wanted to show you guys that. It is a little bit after 8 o'clock. I just got home from the PTO 80s family game night. It was actually quite easy to work at. I just worked at the candy table with Mrs. Trejo, selling candy to the kids. It was very low-key, so it wasn't too bad, but I am very tired. The big dilemma in the household right now is that I was supposed to cook today, but I don't think that I'm going to be cooking because it's late. And I don't know what we're gonna do for dinner. I just texted my sister and told her that we have a bit of a dilemma. But I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here for today. It has been a week of a lot of anxiety. I'm glad it's over. I just feel like it was a very hit and miss week because I was in a lot of meetings and just my mind was just distracted, which is why I think that I wasn't as efficient as I would like to have been today, because I think I'm just kind of distracted, just dealing with wondering what's going to happen next week. So I will definitely let you guys know. I should hear by the end of the week, and keep your fingers crossed for me that I get my first choice. And depending on what happens or when I find out where I'm going to be placed, I'll kind of give you guys a little bit more background and information on all the roller coaster of this week, kind of going through my interviews and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye for now. I hope you guys had a great work week, or a great week in general. I hope you are having a great weekend if you're watching this Sunday. Thank you so much as always for the support and going through this week with me and being supportive along the way. And I will see you guys Monday morning. Genesis has already taken herself to bed. I'm getting ready to go put on some pajamas and relax and maybe scrounge together some dinner, and if I really am feeling up to it, edit the vlog for the night and pay some bills, because I need to do that. So I will talk to you guys Monday morning. See you later. Bye, everybody.